Hello, it's Robert at Deadartstudios, and welcome back to Painting with Deadartstudios. And today we're back on a little purple painting, and I've been looking at it as it's drying, and I've decided that I actually don't really like how it's looking overall. I think for the size of the painting, there's too much going on in the scene, and that kind of makes it look a bit flat, and I think what I want to do is change it quite dramatically. And so the way I always tackle that is by scratching back the oil and seeing if we can reveal something else underneath the painting. And I have my cocoa with me here. I'll just take a sip. And because I'm painting on this very textured OSB board, if I scratch back, then some of the paint will remain in the indentations within the board, and we'll get a new sort of background that might give me a hint as to where I might want to take it in future. I do like this sort of red area here, and these little red dots and things are coming through. This for me down here is messy, and the mountains might look bright in another painting, but not quite here. So I think what I will do is I'll just start scratching back, and I'm going to start just by pulling down on the corner of the knife here and slowly pulling it back. Once we get going, it should get a bit easier to do. That's it, and just scratch away at it and see what we can reveal excuse me, underneath. And it's that time of year when everyone has coughs and colds, and I've certainly got a little bit of a sore throat. I have to take a bit of tissue here, keep wiping this back, and I'll just brush as much as I can off into the tissue, and anything that goes on the table we clean up at the end. Okay, so let's get scratching. And in a way, you always feel a little bit disappointed when I do something like this, but also, you know, I want a painting that I'm happy with, and I'm not happy with this one. The last piece I did I was happy with after a fair amount of work and rejigging. And often when I set out to do something, and I set out and do these very set scenes at the beginning of my work, and then I'm just like, it's not really what I want, and then I just have another go, keep working, and often something comes out of it. It's a bit difficult to do and keep still, but I'll just keep scratching away, and you can see down here there's some nice colour underneath here and all this work. And if we can reveal a different set of colours and a different composition, then we can get repainting on it, and we might get a piece that we're happy with. And this one we can do in a sort of, seems to want to come off in little waves, so we can certainly abide by what the board wants, because some of this board is so tough and strong that this thin knife isn't going to win the fight against it. So if it wants to go one way, then we kind of have to go with it. In the direction that it wants. And I'm getting random emails sent to my phone and buzzing through on my watch while we paint, so I can get phishing email sent to me about made up cloud storage while I paint. Okay, and already I'm happier with what's underneath here. Go around this red section here, see what's going on. I'll try and leave the red itself, because I do like that bit. And it's certainly difficult to make a video when you have a sore throat and a cough and it's tickling away. Excuse me. Another sip of cocoa, see if that helps. I apologise for the coughing. My daughter hates coughing. She's only 3 years old, and I think it scares her when a big old man like me starts coughing. Why is Daddy not well, and why is he so loud? So we're working these sections and get rid of most of the structures gone on this foreground now. Those sort of figures that I imagined have faded. And I hope wherever you are that you're having a good day if possible, and that you too can find some time if possible to create, and if not, just a minute or two to yourself to reflect on your day. There we go, brush that a little bit, and anything that's on the board that you want off, I can just brush off like that. That might even do a little bit of blending because the paint is not totally dry. Right, so let's go up here. At some point we're going to head into these mountains, look, and start scratching away and come down on this. Get some long scratches in there. A bit of the board itself comes up there, that's fine. We'll be better off to paint over that. I did prime these with gesso. If a little tiny bit comes off, I don't think it's a problem, and this stuff's sort of glued together, all the tiny fragments that make up the OSB board, glued and pressed, so it's, I mean, it's suitable for outdoor building, so it should be pretty well sealed. There we go, just moved a bit. I'll try and move that back. Hopefully it's still in frame. And already the way that's coming down onto that, I mean, there's still the essence of the mountain there, and actually I prefer that, looks nicer to me and more what I'm trying to go for. So already a little bit more pleased with what we're revealing. And today I watched a little half-hour YouTube documentary. It was very nice, about Jackson Pollock and about why the maker felt that people misunderstood his work, and how many people had said that his work was about breaking boundaries and doing new things, and he suggested that we were kind of missing the point, and we should look at the pieces for what they are and not the way they reflected on the procedures of art history and the time and place and era it was made. And I certainly agreed with a lot of the sentiments in that. And I do believe I've seen some Jackson Pollock in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. I have to admit, I've seen a lot of art in a lot of art galleries, and I've forgotten the vast majority of the things I've seen. Ones that I don't think I'll ever forget are Starry Night at MoMA by Van Gogh, and certainly because I didn't know it was there, and there was a big crowd of people stood around this corner. I'm like, what on earth is this all about? And I stepped around and there it was right in front of me, Starry Night, and I'm like, oh my goodness me. And you know, it was great to see. It's not a shame, but there was a lot of people there, and that makes it a little more difficult to enjoy, especially when you're on a short trip and you've got to try and see everything all in one day. But that was great. I certainly won't forget that. And the Francis Bacon painting. I like Francis Bacon. Spotted that right at the end as we were leaving, and that also will stick in my mind for a while. Other paintings, The Kiss, the famous Kiss in Vienna. We'll never forget that one. Gustav Klimt. And there was work by Sheila, who I didn't know a lot about at the time, and saw a whole set of work by him on display in the gallery, and that was interesting. And Klimt, of course, has pride of place, and it was quite quiet there when I saw The Kiss, and I really did get to just pretty much stand on my own and look at it with a security guard very closely, keeping his eye on me, especially when you're moving close to try and look at the strokes. I don't think a lot of people are as interested as I am as to how the strokes laid down so closely. So, you know, you go right in for a look, and those security guards, they're ready to pounce, and I don't blame them. Yeah, I think The Kiss and Starry Night are definitely the two that might stick in my mind forever. I mean, The Kiss really is a painting that, when you see it in real life, it is far better than anything you've seen, any of the images on the internet or anything like that, or posters or prints. And it seems to have been reworked so many times under different digital conditions, different screens, different editing software and everything, that, you know, you really don't get the sense of it until you're in there. And wow, it really does make you just take a step back for a second. And Vienna has a lot of beautiful art, actually. It's really worth visiting if that's what if art is your thing. Never been to Paris. I have been to Amsterdam, but I missed out all the Van Gogh. I can't, I mean, as an Englishman, I shall just butcher the name, I think, rather than pretend that I stand a chance of saying it properly. But I saw a little of his work, obviously, in MoMA, and a fair amount of Claude Monet. Now, I can't remember where I saw that. Maybe that was at MoMA, I really can't remember. Not sure where else it would have been. And also Rothko. Good old Rothko. I don't think I've seen the works of his that I want to see. I ended up seeing a lot of the darker, muted works, which were interesting. I really wanted to see the iridescent reds and yellows and pinks. I don't think I've seen those, but you know, I think there's some in London. I'm not so far away. Maybe I need to go and check them out. But I think they're more of the muted ones again. But I've been to art galleries around the world, but I've never actually been to the Tate Modern in London, so it's a bit strange. I should probably go. I've been to the Tate, and there's plenty of good artwork in there. The main reason you go to the Tate, well, not the main reason you go to the Tate, but the main reason I go to the Tate is when you get off the bus. It's the place with the first 3 toilets that you encounter. You've been sat on the bus for so long that you need to visit the bathroom, and what a great way to go and see some artwork. As soon as you get to London, straight to the art, and then off to Covent Garden to listen to some opera singing. Wonderful. It's always a great treat to hear someone sing so close as well. You know, you get the live, almost busking like opera singers sat right around the food hall, singing, and it's really amazing. I had a tiramisu once while listening to some opera singing. Unfortunately, the restaurant had not been open long, and the tiramisu was partially frozen. None of us had the guts to complain about it, but I mean, frozen tiramisu is pretty good anyway, so it was what it was, and I enjoyed it. Right, let's take a look. Yeah, it's kind of looking more interesting. I still think it's a bit too defined up here and here. And I'll do some more down here where it's a bit dirty. I think given the state of my voice today, I shall leave it here for now. Continue on the time lapse and put that on Instagram and upload the short to YouTube. So it's Robert at Deadartstudios wishing you a good evening, and I'll see you again soon.